Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. All right, NASCAR Cup Series Food City 500 from Bristol. It's Bristol, baby. All right, race 8 on the 2026 schedule. So far, I'm 4-3 on my picks. Yeah, I didn't pick Tyler Reddick on all those races to start the season. My bad on that one. Obviously, we know how the season turned out with him, and Blaney getting a win, Hamlin getting a win, Ellie getting a win. All right, so Food City 500. 500 laps around Bristol, 133.25 miles. 3 stages, so I know a lot of people hate stage racing. My opinion on that is I like it because you don't have that just... If you go back on YouTube, some people have, and watch some of these old races, you will see a lot of people just ride around, especially Bristol, 500 laps. Even Dover, 500 laps, just ride around. They're not pushing it. They're not, because they got a long way to go. We have multiple pit stops. We got a lot of things going on. At least with the stages, there is that carrot at the end. So it's like it makes them want to race harder at the end of the stage. That's at least what I've seen. But I'm cool with the stages now. Can we change them a little bit? Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But overall, I think we should keep them because there is that TV piece with the commercials and whatnot. A lot of people hate commercials. I get it. Unfortunately, with a $1.1 billion TV deal per year, you got to pay for those. You got to pay. They get those TV companies got to get that money back, and that's how they sell commercials. So, anyway, moving on. 11 of the last 15 winners started in the top 10. The lowest was 20th in 2022 with Chris Buescher. Now, if we look at qualifying from earlier today, so 11 of the last 15 winners started in the top 10. Top 10 qualifying: Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Riley Herbst. Great qualifying run for him. Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Kyle Larson, Austin Cindric, Carson Hocevar. Denny Hamlin starting 11th. We know he sometimes runs well at Bristol. He's won it, and he beat your favorite driver. All of them. Bubba qualified 12th, so good run for him. Seabell there at 14th. So as I look at my NASCAR Fantasy Live lineup and my picks, I'm still fairly confident that that stat 11 of the 15, top 10, it looks like one of my picks is starting in the top 10, one starting right outside the top 10, and a little bit outside the top 10, and then, so 2 of my 4 picks to win are starting inside the top 10. 9 of the last 15 winners started in the top 5, including 3 from the poll, 2028, 2029, and 2020. Ryan Blaney, he is in my NASCAR Fantasy Live lineup, so 9 of 15 started in the top 5. One of my picks is starting in the top 5, so okay, so we're still good there, still solid. 2023 fall, 2024 spring were both won by Denny Hamlin. He started 2nd and 3rd in those 2 races. The next 2 races, 2024 fall and 2025 spring, both won by Kyle Larson. He started 2nd and 3rd in those 2 races. That's very intriguing how that worked out. Fall of 2025, so last fall there was 14 cautions. That was the most since 2020 was 17, and then 2016 had 15, and 2007 had 15. So that 14 cautions last fall was just unique. I know a lot of people talk about tires. Tires has been a big thing here lately. People want tires to wear out. Great. Yes, I want tires to wear out. Do we want tire problems? No, we don't want tire problems. The biggest misconception is when it comes to tires is when there are tire failures, it is not necessarily a Goodyear problem. It is a team problem. And here's why I say that. Because when Goodyear puts out their recommended tire pressure to these teams, and they say, okay, you should run X tire pressure, and these teams say, well, we're going to take that number, we're going to subtract 2, and that's where we're starting. Well, that becomes a problem, because the problem now is you've already went against what they said, and obviously the tire manufacturers know best. So it's kind of like, all the engineers don't know as much as these tires guys do. Just saying, And Goodyear actually puts something out every race now about that exact thing. They talk about the And I was actually looking it up here. See if I can find it. They put out the one for this week, which I'm loving how they're putting this out now. And see if I can pull it up here real quick. So yeah, you can follow Goodyear on social media, and they put it out there. So there's 12 sets of tires, one for practice, one for qualifying, 10 for the race, and the qualifying go over. Talks about left side with the diameter, and it talks about air pressure and tire codes. Like it says, tire code 5276 for the left. See if it'll tell me if I look that up where other track set has here. Yeah, it's not. Okay, so I'll look this up another time. So it tells air pressure 16 and 18 on the left, 46 and 44 on the right. So if the teams go below that, and obviously that's the minimum that Goodyear recommends, you start going too far below that, you're going to cause the tire to flex when it's low on pressure. It tears up the sidewall inside. You don't know that until obviously get some heat into the tires, and that's when we start having those quote tire failures. And I love that Goodyear puts that out, because that way we're not immediately going tire failure. Because here's the thing, then Goodyear gets a reputation of having bad tires, and so people don't want to buy Goodyears for their personal car because, well, they're bad tires. They're not bad tires. It's teams taking advantage of going the extra mile to try to gain speed, and they're not. So we don't want to go back to the time where tires never wore out, where you have a 500 lap race at Bristol and you change your tires twice. We don't need to go back to that. All right, so in the last 6 Bristol races, now this is all just Gen 7 cars. First couple years we had the dirt, so more spring races, so we had the fall races. So the last 6 Bristol races, average finish. Christopher Bell, 5.16 and a win. Kyle Larson, 7.66 and 2 wins. Denny Hamlin, 8.0 and 2 wins. Chris Buescher, 10.33 and a win. Brad Keselowski, 11.33. Chase Briscoe, 12.5. Ty Gibbs, 12.83. Ross Chastain, 13.3. Average running position for the entire 6 races. Christopher Bell, 6.06. Denny Hamlin, 7.17. What that means is, throughout the entire 500 laps of the race, or how many laps they ran, their average running position throughout there. So it could have been first, it could have been last. They averaged for all the laps, 7.17 for Denny Hamlin. Kyle Larson, 8.33. Ty Gibbs, 11.16. This could be the breakout race where he gets that first career win. Chase Briscoe, 12.59. Alex Bowman, 13.16. And he is back in that 48 Ally car this week, which is great to see. Hopefully he can have a good run. I know he's got a big hole to dig out for the playoffs, or for the chase, to make it. He will get a waiver due to, obviously, Henry Motorsports has to request it. It was an injury-related miss, so yeah, they're definitely going to get that one, which is good. They should. Brad Keselowski, 13.29. Ryan Blaney, 13.50. Chris Buescher, 13.81. Now, I kind of narrowed that down a little bit the last 4 races. So, first, we're going to look at laps led in the last 4 races. Kyle Larson has led 3 times in 3 races of the last 4 for 892 laps. So in 4 races, that's 2,000 laps at Bristol. Kyle Larson's led almost half of them, 892. Ty Gibbs has led 2 races for 338 laps total. Denny Hamlin, 166 in 2 races. Chase Briscoe, 127. Ryan Blaney, 92 in 3 races. And Alex Bowman is actually the only driver that I saw, maybe I missed one, that actually led laps in all 4 races, the last 4 races. He led 81 laps total. So average finish in those last 4 races. Christopher Bell, 6.0. Ryan Blaney, 7.75. Chase Briscoe, 8.5. Ty Gibbs, 9.25. Denny Hamlin, 9.5. So we see the Toyotas do run well. And if you look at qualifying, that actually makes sense. We have Toyota in second with Reddick, Briscoe, Riley Herbst, and Ty Gibbs. So 4 of the top 5 are Toyotas. And then back in 11th and 12th, we had a couple of Toyotas and one in 14th. So it does make sense that Toyota runs well at Bristol. Kyle Larson, 9.75 average finish in those 4 races. Brad Keselowski, 11.75. Ross Chastain, 12.75. Chris Buescher, 14.25. In those same 4 races, average running position, which is a stat that I really like, because that kind of shows how you've done all day. You could have had a great finish because of something happened, or you could have been mediocre all day and got a great, finish, or vice versa. Could have been running up front all day and get a bad finish because of something beyond your control. So this average running position says, okay, this is where you were the whole day versus where your finish was. Christopher Bell, 7.14. Denny Hamlin, 7.23. Ty Gibbs, 7.93. Ryan Blaney, 8.67. Kyle Larson, 8.93. Chase Briscoe, 10.03. So he actually finished, average finish of 8.5, but average running position at 10.03. So he ended up finishing better than he ran all day. Bubba Wallace, 11.85, and you notice he wasn't even in the top 9 of the average finish either. But he ran well, but didn't get the finish there. Alex Bowman, 12.04. Carson Hocevar, 14.16. Now, for the 2 races last year at Bristol, Kyle Larson led 411 laps of the 1,000 possible, so 41% of them. Ty Gibbs, 201 laps led last year at Bristol. Chase Briscoe, 127, and Ryan Blaney, 78. Now, I think I want to see tire wear that we had, was it 2 years ago, that April race a couple years ago, where everybody was freaking out. I like that tire wear. Here's why. Puts the dirt back in the driver's hands. So you can't just, you get 10 sets of tires. 500-mile race. That's 50 laps per set of tire. You get your scuffs too. So, I mean, you're looking at about 45 to 50 laps per set of tires to make sure you have enough. When the tires wear out after 35 laps, you either A, got to pit and be short on tires, or B, figure out how to make those tires last. Think about Days of Thunder movie. When Harry Hogg told, I can't think of his name in the movie, Cole Trickle, go run 50 laps my way, run 50 laps your way. And you saw the tires just destroy tires. The driver, Cole Trickle's way, doing it Harry Hogg's way, he was faster at the end and the tires weren't wore out. So yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta do what's best for those tires. Now they kind of take Bristol as kind of its own little beast, high bank, concrete track. If you look at other short tracks, this is all the short tracks together, talking about Richmond, Iowa, Bristol, Martinsville, anything less than a mile. The last 4 years, 23 races, Kyle Larson average finished 9.1 with 4 wins. That checks. He runs well at Bristol. He's got a couple wins in the last 6 races. Ryan Blaney, 9.2 with 3 wins. He's on the pole for this race. He's running well as well. Christopher Bell, 9.5 with 2 wins. One of those came at Bristol. Chase Elliott, 10.0 and a win. He runs well. And Denny Hamlin, 10.0 and 4 wins. We know he's got 2 of those at Bristol. We know he beat your favorite driver. You know all of them. I actually have that shirt. I got a little bleach on it, so I don't wear it. But yeah, and then I got my new one. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a Denny Hamlin fan, if you couldn't tell. And Jeff Gordon fan at one point. There you go. Jeff Gordon fan right there. Yeah. All right. So after 7 races, points. Now I'm going to do where they are to the cut line for the chase and where they are from the cut line. So Tyler Reddick plus 195 with 4 wins. Ryan Blaney plus 113 with a win. Denny Hamlin plus 101 and a win. Chase Elliott plus 91 and a win. William Byron plus 80. Ty Gibbs plus 64. Steve Bell plus 54. Brad Keselowski plus 48. I love this right here. 8th through 11th is tied. So Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, and Bubba Wallace all tied plus 48 to the cut line. Yeah, that incident last week really hurt Bubba Wallace in points, and I hate that for that team. I know Freddie Kraft said some stuff on Door Bumper Clear about it and give his opinion on it, and which is great. He's part of the team. He's friends with Bubba Wallace. They have a great back and forth, and I absolutely love their back and forth on the radio. I saw it a little different. I don't think Bubba was mad. I mean, he's probably mad. I don't think he was just like losing his mind like he has in the past. I think that was, I got used up by Hocevar earlier. Turnaround's fair play, and it just didn't go as planned because Bubba's not that kind of driver. He doesn't go out and just figure out, he's not a Dale Earnhardt type that goes out and kind of figure out how do I get him out of my way without looking like I'm getting him out of my way kind of deal. He just misjudged it, I think. Just racing. That's all it was. He got Carson Hocevar got Hocevar, or Chastain, whatever term we want to use there. I love how everyone cries and blames Bubba, but if the situation was reversed, it would still been Bubba's fault, and Carson did what he had to do. So Joey Logano plus 27, Ryan Preece plus 22, Shane Van Gisbergen plus 16, which I can't. That's awesome. After 7 races, even a road course in there, and he didn't win on it, and he's plus 16 to the cut line after 7 races. really hope he makes the chase this year. I think that's going to be awesome for him and the team. Same way with Carson Hocevar, and I love this Fire Motorsports. Carson Hocevar plus 13, Daniel Suarez plus 9, and then Michael McDowell minus 9. I know I saw some stuff online about Spire and the Truck Series last night where they had 3 trucks. They added the 71, and it was Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, and Daniel Suarez. And somebody made a comment that they put all Cup guys in their trucks. That's their lineup for 2027, guys. My prediction right now. Spire lineup 2027 in the Cup Series. Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, and Carson Hocevar. Austin Cindric is minus 18. Ross Chastain minus 31. AJ Allmendinger minus 33. And I say that, and I think in order for RCR to keep Jesse Love, they got to put him in the Cup Series. Because I think if Jesse Love doesn't get the 8 car for RCR, or the 3 if Austin retires from driving full time, he's going over to the Legacy Motor Club. So I think a couple of the dominoes is going to be Riley Herbst sponsorship, Jesse Love, what he does and what Kyle Busch does. I could definitely see Kyle Busch going to the 71 from McDowell. I could see McDowell going to Colic, and if Dodge comes in, their third team. I could see Jesse Love, if not getting the RCR ride, going to Legacy Motor Club as their third driver, and then Herbst staying put. I don't know what happens to Heim at that point, or Jesse Love stays at RCR. I don't think Heim's moving to the Legacy Motor Club. I thought that at one point, but after hearing some people talk, I don't see that happening. I could see Herbst moving over there with sponsorship, bringing Monster to the Legacy Motor Club. But yeah, a lot of dominoes have to fall in. That 48 car could still be open. We'll see what Alex Bowman does. So yeah, a lot of dominoes there. But my prediction is Kyle Busch to Spire to replace Michael McDowell. Ross Chastain minus 31 and 19th. AJ Allmendinger in 20th minus 33. And I mentioned about the Dodge deal. I think if Dodge comes in the Cup Series in 2027, I think NASCAR said they have 4 charters for new OEM. 3 go to Rick Ware Racing. They switch to Dodge, and then 1 for College, so 3 and 3. Chase Briscoe minus 36, Zane Smith minus 41, Eric Jones minus 48, Kyle Busch minus 48, Josh Berry minus 55, John Hunter minus 58. Yeah, I love how him and Eric Jones are like 10 points apart. They're just kind of running neck and neck. Austin Dillon minus 62, Todd Gilliland minus 71, Noah Gragson minus 74, Riley Herbst minus 77, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. minus 80, and Ty Dillon in 32nd minus 80. Those drivers have a long way to go to make that top 16, and so does Alex Bowman. I figured it out. He has to average a 7th place points, so whatever that points is, 40 points or whatever it is, through the rest of the regular season to make the chase. NASCAR Fantasy Live lineup. It's going to look like this for me. Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, and Ryan Blaney in the garage. On that NASCAR Fantasy Live, if you're new to it, you pick 5 picks. You're going to use those drivers, 10 times in the regular season. In your garage pick, you can swap out sometime before the end of stage 2. So in this case, it's lap 250. So in order for Blaney to get into my lineup, I have to get him in there before the lap 250. So like if Larson crashes out, I need to get Bell in there, which unfortunately the last win for Denny Hamlin, I had him in my garage and his points didn't count for me, and that sucked. Head-to-head, Chase Elliott over Brett Keselowski, Ty Gibbs over Chase Briscoe. This one was tough. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson, I went in with Denny Hamlin, and then Carson Hocevar over Josh Berry. So the 4 picks to win the Food City 500 at Bristol. Mind you, I'm 4-3 on the year, so I'm not great at this on the Cup side. O'Reilly side, I'm 6-2. We'll see what happens today or tonight. So Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Ty Gibbs. So the 4 picks. That is the Food City 500. As we look at the numbers past and current here, now, yeah, we'll see how some of these numbers fall out. If we're going to have these 4 drivers at the end, it could be somebody completely different. I mean, hell, Shane Van Gisbergen can go out there and win. Carson Hocevar, get his first career win. Who knows? But the picks are Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Ty Gibbs. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day, Robert Sports Show. your YouTube leader, Sports Channel Content.